got baptized by a streetcar. What's up, guys? We are live for the first time with our Monday night, whatever you want to call this. Kind of a spontaneous deal, but a lot of things have happened this week. First, we're going to hear from Joey with Beater Bomb. He's out in Nebraska, if you guys don't know. What's up, Joey? You hear me? Can you hear me, Joey?
Yeah. Hear me?
Cool. Yeah, I can hear you. So what's going on, man? Been causing some controversy lately.
Man, I didn't expect it to blow up like that. I mean, it's such a simple physics class deal, I guess, you know.
For those of you who don't know, I'm going to bring up the video that went around and show you guys what all this is about. So that's what piqued everybody's interest. They're like, What is going on? Why is Beater Bomb trying to launch into orbit? What is on the back of that thing?
Yeah.
That was one of the most wild videos I've ever seen.
It's crazy. I mean, as soon as Tyson came over and showed me the GoPro video of that footage, I was like, whoa, that's a wild view. I mean, obviously it's crazy in the car too, but you know, it's
got to be hard to control on the big end with the front end that high in the air, and that's wild.
So, I mean, obviously, if you've read some of the comments, there's a lot of haters out there. I mean, that's just that you just get that, but it will be a lot easier to control once I have more passes on it. I only had 2 or 3 passes before I raced in that event just because of time, and I had just gotten the car running, that week before. I've honestly had this thing built since December, and I've just been waiting to have the car race ready to test it and use it,
Yeah.
I've been really keeping tabs on all the events on the East Coast, watching
this
the other guys
is huge right now.
Yeah, I've been watching the other guys' weight contraptions, I guess you could say. I mean, I've seen anything from hanging 2 plates on your parachute bar to, Turbo John setups. I love watching his YouTube videos. Yeah. And other than, the Chicken Hawk's little weight rack thing on his bumper. And obviously, being as a competitor as I am, you watch what everyone else is doing. And as far as my setup last year, it's really front heavy, and I just struggled all year. And, you see the sport evolving towards this back end track, street racing. I mean, whatever. And
that's where all the money's at.
Yeah. I mean, it you can't deny it. And I thought of this little deal, and there's a lot of people that said, oh, I've seen that done before. I'm going to tell you what, I've been paying attention. I ain't seen anybody do anything that wild.
I think a lot of people have thought of it, but no one has been crazy enough to try it.
Yeah. And I'm telling you what, I had a couple close friends, Sean being one of them, Sean Clark. He's like, you won't do that. Next day, I'm talking to Brad at Vasco Speed and Performance, who did the cage work in my car and
tied into the chassis and everything.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, I'm doing it. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
And there we were in December. And
to me, it's like, it's more safe than having barbell weights just on your parachute mount that can fly off, with a clamp or something on there.
Yeah, I cannot believe some of the comments of people are like how it's unsafe. In my opinion, it's because you're scared.
Yeah.
And I hate to call him out like this. Kendall really called me out in this driver's meeting about how somebody could run into it and it's unsafe. Well, I hate to break it to you. This whole sport's unsafe. We all know what happened a few years ago. My best friend, and you could die driving down the road to the grocery store. If you're scared of something hanging off a back of a car, I suggest not going to any races I go to. I mean, anybody
definitely not a safe place.
No, I mean, look at that Wilkesboro race or whatever.
Yeah,
it was the purple Mustang. I mean, thankfully he hit that scoreboard behind the driver's compartment instead of on the driver's door. I mean, racing is dangerous. I'm gonna live my life, to the fullest. If I die tomorrow, whatever. I mean, some of the comments are just hilarious.
I try to be as safe as I can, but we also, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be competitive. And we're always pushing the envelope every time we get out there. We're all trying to get the money at the end of the day. And, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been at fault for it before, putting sandbags in a trunk. I guarantee you go around to dig or die, 90% of those cars have loose weight sitting somewhere.
Oh yeah,
that is more dangerous in my opinion than
the cars when one rips open.
Yeah, and I mean, next time I'm around and somebody wants to come check out the Butthurt Bar, I'm telling you what, it is sturdy as the whole car. This ain't the first. Yeah, this isn't the first one I've made. This is about the third revision to it, and Brad and Sean,
all TIG welded, all good.
Brad and Sean were very concerned with being safe with it, and the first revision was a little sloppy. I mean, it wasn't as sturdy, and they weren't gonna let me continue on with it until they were satisfied. And the satisfaction, Brad stood on the thing before we were leaving, so I knew it could handle my weight and whatever weight I want to put on it. And and honestly, it's not even a lot of weight on there. No, I mean, it's like 100 pounds.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you. How much weight is actually back there? Because I know I'm used to running 200, 300, even 400 pounds back there. And, with an S10, it's nice because I can put it real far back and have it hidden. But with a Mustang, the ass end of them is a little bit shorter than an S10. You don't have as much overhang on the back. So, I mean, you got to get creative.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I'm still trying to get it dialed in, but 30 pounds changes a lot. And the surface changes. I mean, it's just, I'll get it dialed in a little bit better. And obviously, the technology in my car is, I would call advanced. I have a lot of sensors, and unfortunately, the viral video against Ryan, my laser ride height sensor, which controls like if I were to wheelie, just malfunctioned. And Quentin and Rank and those guys that race at that airstrip all the time mentioned to me earlier that day that they have issues with something on the surface causes the laser to not read properly. And well, as you saw, I mean, it wheelied out of control. So not out of control, but
it looked like it was that concrete that has real bad sections and it's rough.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple of the other comments I want to mention is, so no one really knows at that airstrip, the left lane there, since we had to move up because of the oil down situation, there was literally a ramp. And so in the video, you see me steer off to the right because I know Ryan was making a good pass. Well, I was just giving him room to come over into my lane to avoid that ramp. And people don't even realize that. They just draw conclusions like, oh my God.
To the right and he can't control it now.
No, I was just giving the other racer room to not wreck their car over that ramp like I did when nobody told me about it. So that's all. I just
Man, what
wanted to
kind of
clear the
shocks
air.
or what kind of struts are on that thing?
Oh, they're razor struts.
Razor struts? Oh my
Oh,
God. That's funny.
hold on. How do I turn this camera around?
I don't know. You might have to just wing it and
There's
what
some
in the world?
plain Jane Viking struts from Afterworks, just like everybody and their mom has.
Everybody else. I know a
So
lot of people will run those, but they have issues with their ball joints maxing out or some steering components maxing out. There's got to be some trickery in there somewhere because I've never seen nobody get that much travel.
I will say, when I set up this front suspension and put it all the way extended, I was like, that's a lot. I never seen anybody with that much either, but
You probably
I
didn't
had
have
a couple
a
guys.
high enough. You probably had to put it on the lift. See how much it had.
Yeah. I don't even know. I haven't measured how many inches of travel it is, but it's a lot. I mean, I'm guessing probably 14 inches if you had to ask me,
That should
but
be enough. You know?
it's a lot. I mean, obviously enough to wheelie, but
Yeah. That's
I don't know.
incredible.
So we'll see. I just need some more passes. I didn't have enough time to test. I did test the day before the race this last weekend, and it's just hard to get stuff dialed in when you're in a rush and stuff like that. And I actually did go to 2 cash days after this event, and I didn't win those. Nobody cares about those. So, I mean, they think that this Butthurt bar is just a winning guarantee, but Ryan Mitchell, fortunately, you know, he's a good friend of mine, and we bounce ideas off each other. And I had mentioned some of this stuff to him, and I don't think him and Eric thought I would be crazy enough to do some dumb shit like this, but Ryan did end up winning that cash days that night on this junk asphalt road. I mean, it was just horrible, but he was making good passes. You know, that car just amazes anybody on any surfaces, and you know that's why I think his car is like literally the best in the country, because he can go to a concrete road, an asphalt road, a radial prep track, a no prep track, and just now he may not
get down.
Yeah, he may not win every event, but he definitely does very well at all types of surfaces, you know.
And I'll tell you what, he's probably the best sportsman as far as sportsmanship. That guy, you know, he's one of the nicest dudes, and I always look forward to racing him, man.
Oh yeah.
I know it's going to be no drama. You know, it's going to go down, and you know, even if you lose by a bumper, it ain't nothing to be mad about. You know what I mean?
No.
Everybody's gunning for him. Everybody's gunning for you and like Casey Max, and it's like, you know, anytime you get to race guys like you guys, it's always going to be, you know, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I can say just for everybody out there, just remember we're all normal guys too. You know, you beat us. It's awesome to celebrate and stuff, but holy cow, some of the times it's like you win the Super Bowl, and
it's rough, dude. I beat my local people around here sometimes that I just, you know, no offense, I've been beat by some cars that everybody's been beat by cars they shouldn't have been beat by. It just happens, you know, and it's rough sometimes because they'll be on the internet for weeks or they'll be posting memes or whatever. But you just gotta just do your best to not let it happen again. Just let it motivate you.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and obviously last year I didn't have the best year, so I'm gonna try to do better this year. And fortunately, everybody has already seen the contraptions, I guess you could say. I was going to wait to reveal the massive extension in the front end till later on events, because I didn't want to get out there, but I didn't realize this GoPro video would go so viral.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, it's awesome.
Do you think people are going to start banning it from events?
On that subject, these 2 cash days that I went to after the airstrip event both banned me before second round. I didn't even win the event yet. They both said that I couldn't race with it when they saw it, period. For other promoters, okay, so back to that. Both cash days that banned it, I was respectful about it. I said, how about we just ask the drivers, at the race if it's okay? And fortunately, all the racers that I raced with, I'm pretty good friends with a lot of people, and they weren't going to race unless they allowed it. And so it was pretty much down to 2 drivers at the Wichita race that they weren't going to have a race unless they let me. But
Right.
as I said earlier, Ryan Mitchell went on to win that because
Right. It's not a guaranteed thing where you got this new thing and everybody's going to have it or they're not going to win.
Yeah. And then the Kansas City race that I went to on Sunday, Toby was really against it. And it's real easy to make a safety concern. However, I asked several people, how would you like me to make it safer? Because I feel like it's safe enough. The weight is bolted on there. The bar is bolted to the car at 4 different points, and it's solid as can be. But they couldn't give me a way to make it safer, except that if a car ran into it. Well, stay in your lane and you won't run into it.
Right. I mean, you run into the car, there's going to be problems either way, whether there's a butter problem or not.
Right. And then at that race, at the Kansas City race, it got voted allowed also. However, I did not race with it there because I had tested that morning without the bar and I have to change the whole rear suspension to run the stupid thing. So by the time they voted it in, I didn't have time to change it all back. So I just raced the car how it was. And I did horrible. I mean, I lost again. I mean, that's part of racing. I move on with life. I'm going to try to do better next time.
Where you don't necessarily need that. But
so, people are like, well, why don't you hang weight on the front? Well, why don't I just take some weight off the back? I mean, I just need
the less weight you can have, the less weight you're pulling in the car, the better, the faster it's going to be. So the further back you can put it, you showed it works,
Yeah.
Less weight.
I need to know, like, hey, on a concrete road where I think I can go 130, whatever, 60 foots, I need X amount of weight, and I just need more data with it. That's all.
Yeah.
But
are you going to leave it on there when you just going to pull the weight off and leave the bars there when you don't use it, or is it removable?
No, it's sitting right there. I mean, it's fully removable. It just bolts to these Heim ends and stuff, and there's a couple little door bar mount things in there. And
hell yeah.
But back on the subject of whether I already see several promoters thinking about weight rules and stuff.
Yeah.
Why? I just don't get how after one event of something, people make a decision already. I suggest, waiting to see how it plays out. I mean, still,
I think we're going to see people come out here with some sketchy shit. There's going to be some people that are going to try to copy it and not do as good of a job. And there will be some sketchy shit because that's just the nature of what we're doing. But I don't see any problem with yours. I think maybe we should have like a guideline of what you can and can't have. Like, there's got to be
like what?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's got to be bolted down. It's got to be TIG welded, and got to have a certain amount of bars and bar thickness and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, no spears coming out and like no sharp edges.
I don't even know what to say, but it's very unfortunate that I only got to use it at pretty much one event, and it's already in talks of being banned, especially at that $250,000 race. I saw Messi talking about that he's going to make a rule about weight can only be 24 inches out of the car or whatever. It's pretty disappointing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that you were onto something there, and I hope that people take into consideration, your gripes about it. And I don't really
Yeah.
have anything to say. Like, I'm not going to do it on mine because I have a bed and I can put weight as far back as I need to. But for some of the cars, it definitely helps.
Yeah. No, yeah. And my car is really heavy in the front, being obviously twin turbo and a larger motor. But I just really struggled the last year with having that much weight up there. And there's a point of diminishing returns if you run, let's just say 500 pounds in the trunk. You still have to move that weight,
Yep.
so
It might help with traction, but you still have to get that weight moving. And you're only on a 10 and a half inch tire. So it's,
right.
It can only hold, that tire can only hold so much pressure, and, it changes with different weight. So,
yeah. And I mean, if there's other people out there that make one, I mean, whatever, as long as people know I was the first.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about, do you know who is spilling all this oil in the Midwest? What is going on?
I don't know. I might, but
I heard they're putting up a reward. There was some guy that put oil all down the left lane at that airstrip or something, I heard, and they're putting a reward up.
Obviously, the internet is a savage, but to clear the air of the rumors, nobody deliberately put that oil there. It was clear that somebody blew up or broke something. I've heard rear end, I've heard transmission, I've heard flux capacitors. It wasn't somebody that deliberately did it, as far as in Kendall's situation in Joplin, Missouri.
Bigfoot didn't come out and throw oil in the road.
And also, I heard that. Am I still there? Okay. Can you hear
me? I can hear you. Yeah, there you go. I got you.
Also, I heard that whoever did it tried to clean it up the best they could. The thing that I think the promoters are most upset about is that whoever did it didn't say anything, and then they got there the day of, and
so it wasn't like someone went out there with a dog and was like pouring it out. That's what I wanted to know, because I know something like that happened supposedly at a street race like earlier this week. So
yeah,
I didn't know if it was the same party, if they're just going around like the oil bandits and terrorizing the streets.
No, yeah, I feel like, there's just too many rumors getting spread around, and that was the truth about it, is that it wasn't somebody that deliberately poured the oil down. So,
well, that's good.
We all blow shit up. It happens.
Yeah. It would have been nice if they'd have told everybody about it, but whatever. Anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors or anything?
To obviously the guy that helped me make the Butthurt bar was Brad Vasco at Vasco Speed and Performance. Like I said, him and I in 2019 redid my whole cage and all that stuff. So pretty good friend of mine and expert welder out of Kansas City, Missouri. Obviously, Chad at the Shop Inc. has been one of my good friends for a while. He owns a shop near here that I take my car to get aligned. And some of the questions I've heard on the internet are, how do you align that? Well, I just recommend aligning it, at half travel, and it drives fine when it's at full extension. People just get carried away.
Anyways, and all you got to do is floor it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. The camber is what it is. As long as they're even, whatever. I mean, you
As
got
long as you're,
tires.
you might be driving on the sidewalls a little bit, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you don't armor all the sidewalls, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's several other companies that help me out throughout the year that, do their part here and there. Justin at J&N Granite, he's just a great guy all around throughout the whole racing community. He supplies a lot of racers with fuel and stuff like that, tires. Baron at Baron Racing, he helps me out with. I had a couple issues with my turbos this year, and he helped me out with that. Otherwise, he's a dealer for pretty much any part known to man. Hughes Performance build my transmissions and stuff like that. Obviously with you guys, the dump valves and
big game changer there.
Yeah. Pete's the number one customer service guy in the business. He'll answer the phone at midnight if he's awake. Just don't call him in the morning on a weekend, because I swear to God that guy sleeps in until noon.
So. No, I don't doubt it, dude. I've messaged him at like 1 a.m. just thinking he'd see it like the next day or whatever, and I feel bad about it when I do it, and then he'll answer at like 2 and be like, give this long ass answer like he's just been awake this whole time, and he's always so smart. Like he knows his stuff.
Yeah. Otherwise, like weld tables, Dave, he helps you out. He helps me out too. I think he's just trying to, support guys that are trying their hardest out there, that are, don't have to win every weekend. They're just out there putting in the work and out there racing, Yep.
Let's see. Who else?
I can't see the other ones. There. Yeah, I just forget them. You put me on the spot and stuff like that. So.
Okay, old man has a question. He's sitting here. What do you got?
Is there a butthurt bar kit in the works?
Is there a butthurt bar kit in the works?
Yeah, just contact Brad at Vasco Speed and Performance. He'll make you one.
Perfect.
It ain't as easy as just bolting this thing on, I'm telling you. So, like I said, there's 2 or 3 revisions.
You mean I can't buy it on Motion Raceworks and just bolt it on?
No, it's not that easy.
All right, man. I guess we're going to get on to the next person. I appreciate you coming on here, man. Thank you for taking the time. Congrats on your win this weekend, and hopefully we'll see you out here this year. Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to try to get up to the Detroit races and stuff. I guess as long as I'm legal. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody but these past 2 promoters this weekend cause a stink about it, but I guess we'll see what happens at that $250,000 race. Right. If they outlaw it, I mean, still got some other tricks up the sleeve, so we'll see.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, let's get on to our next guest. Who do we want to bring on first, Rooney or Parks?
Save Rooney for last.
Okay. Rooney can wait. Bobby looks like he's in his car waiting. Oh, look, Rooney is pissed. Look, he's laughing. Hang on. Let's add Bobby. Hey, Bobby, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, man.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going, buddy?
I might have a pretty bad signal, so hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you good.
Not bad, not bad. How are you?
Pretty good, man. We just got home last night. Okay, cool. Long drive through the rain, but, it was worth it. It was a good weekend. I know you had a good weekend.
Fucking Rooney's pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, good for me. I can't complain.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up this video from the final so we can relive it real quick.
Here, should walk around or something? I don't know.
What's that?
Sorry, what was that?
I said we're going to bring up this video from the final this weekend. I'm going to put it up on the screen real quick. Man, that had to feel good. You there, Bobby? I think Bobby's got some bad connection issues.
Oh, man. I can't even tell you. Incredible. I know that was the second time that we raced patches, and the first time went pretty good. So I was relatively confident, but I seen that car flying all day long, and obviously he figured something out, and that seems to be the theme with this no prep stuff right now. That it's not that we're getting much faster, it's that everybody's starting to, or not that we're not getting faster, it's just that everybody else is getting faster. So we can only pick up so much on a given surface, as you already know. So eventually, it's like every other class, people are just going to start catching up, and it's going to get more and more competitive as the years go on. And I think there's a lot of years left in this, and I'm just glad I got in when I did, because I mean, it's really all it is. I got in at the right time, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I did a lot of street racing before. So went from the street racing to the radial stuff, and then couldn't afford the radial stuff, to be honest with you. I have a real humble budget, as you can tell by looking at my car and the way that I do it. So I mean, all these guys are out there with these long travel front struts and double adjustable Santuffs and Vikings and whatever they got going on in the back. And I just got some basic ass QA1s up front, single adjustables, and some basic single adjustable Verishocks in the back, that both of them are like 10 years old off my old black car. That's amazing. Basically got handed down to me from the new owner of the car, which is now called the Punisher. And we were tuning that. I was tuning that car this weekend also, and that's running real good. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not totally sold on all the fancy suspension just yet. I do believe 100% for radial stuff. That I can tell you. I've done it. I had some real nice shocks on the old black car for radial stuff. But when it comes to no prep, you got to kind of think of everything backwards. You almost have to think, how do I take a radial car and just make it pure shit? That's exactly right. As much as possible. How do I go back to the 1980s way of thinking and make this car work on junk, because that's all that was really available back then, both in tires and in track surfaces. They didn't have the prep that they do now. So you just got to kind of go back. And I'm just old enough to where I remember going to tracks where they didn't used to suck your shoes off. And, we would go from the track on a Friday night and go out on the street on, Saturday and run the same tune-ups and not have to change a thing. But now with cars, everybody's making 1,000+ horsepower relatively easy. And the tire technology has come a long way. This racing stuff is it's gone crazy in the last 10-15 years. So
it's extremely competitive, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. Gave up on radial racing. As a matter of fact, at West Virginia Airport, that is what got me started. My radial car, I had just done a set of some long travel Mensers for the back, and I was trying to get the car dialed in. It was December. There's no track open. So I was like, screw it. Let's go to this weird ass no prep thing and see if the car drives straight. So we took the car out of the trailer, made one pass, car went straight, blew the tires off, but the car went straight. And I said, all right, cool. That's all I needed to see. Put it back in the trailer. And my guys are all like, what are you doing? What do you mean put it in the trailer? It's race. I was like, man, I'm not doing this dumb shit. What do I want to do no prep for? I want to go fast. I don't want to wreck my car and everything else. And, I had the same mindset that most of these people have that have never really done it. And
a lot of the radio guys think that way.
Yep, exactly. So, I made the pass. I was smart enough to lift when I was supposed to lift, didn't wreck the car. And we decided, hey, you know what? We got some time to kill. Why not? So we grabbed my toolbox out of the trailer. We grabbed a big old box of flyers that my buddy was handing out, and whatever other odds and ends we could find laying around, and we threw them in my trunk, and we took a blanket and folded it all up in a ratchet strap to hold it in the back so it wouldn't hit me in the back of the head when I hit the brakes. And we sent it on down. And sure enough, we won the whole thing.
Oh my God.
I was like, wow.
It's been on ever since.
I was like, man, this no prep stuff is actually kind of fun. And so we just kind of stuck with it. And the West Virginia thing is relatively local to me. So I was like, screw it. Let's just keep doing this thing. Let's just keep doing the no prep. And it was a radial car and made a ton of power. So it was tricky trying to calm it down. It was hard trying to figure out a good tune up. But we got a handle on the stuff pretty fast. Like, I just went back to the street racing days and said, well, let's just do all the same stuff we used to do when we raced on the street. And but eventually it got down to where, now guys, this stuff is getting so competitive that a radial car just wasn't going to cut it anymore. So I moved on. You can't
just throw traction control on a radial car and send it down through there.
Well, a lot of people still seem to think that, and that's why they go out there and they lose their ass. So, once they understand just how tricky this stuff is, just how finicky everything can be on a no prep.
And every round it can change too.
Exactly. Especially when you're racing at places like Darlington or Dig or Die. You are not going to just slap, 300 pounds of weight in the trunk on a radial car and send it and expect to win. And unfortunately, I think that's a big part of the problem in Big Tire. I think in Big Tire, it's a little bit worse. And at the risk of offending some of these guys, the truth of the matter is, you guys are still running a carburetor, but you got data acquisition. You got less than most people. And
I got a 6AO box and a GoPro.
I don't know how in the hell you guys are going as fast as you're going just by simply
the 6AO has one little thing that helps me, and it's the timing retard feature on the launch. And that's all I use. That's all I got.
That's just
and it ramps in linear.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I'm not going to go back to the trailer and go, that timing curve didn't work real well. Let's just knock a couple more degrees out of it. And while I do that, that's just one small part of the many things that I do. And then, I don't have as many sensors as most people. I don't feel they're necessary. I got the same 3 or 4 things I look at between passes that let me know what I need to do for the next. And I'm not going to give all my secrets away because really I help a lot of people out for free. That's kind of my thing. But
you can't give everything away, man.
Exactly.
I love to help people, but you can't give everything. You can't give every detail. Because that person will be out there next weekend and he might beat you in the final, and then you're out a bunch of money.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, there's a lot of guys that I have helped that were already semi-fast. And then, you help them out. And then before you know it, you're racing them in the finals. And it's like, whoa, what did I do? But, I like it to be competitive. Like the race with Kendall at not Dominion, Darlington.
Yep.
So that was awesome. I made a tuning mistake myself on that, which screwed me. But at the same time, I was so happy to run that guy. Like all my buddies are always like, well, as soon as you beat Kendall, then you could say you're the baddest out there. And I was like, okay, well, he'll be over here. So let's race him over here. And I'll be honest, it wasn't nerves. It wasn't anything like that. I don't get starstruck or anything like that. So it wasn't that. I was pretty confident that we were going to beat him, to be honest with you. And that's, not being cocky. I knew what we were doing.
You just knew what your car was running.
Exactly. And I have a good handle on it. Obviously, I have it dialed in pretty well. So when we ran him, I didn't want to make any drastic changes because that's what a lot of people do when they race us. They, he got you and me. The first thing they do is they break the knob off on the turn up dial, and they'll blow the tires off. And it makes it an easy win for us. And that's kind of one of the advantages we have. We go out there, we just do our thing. We don't do their thing. We don't race their car. We just race the road. And we come with the data that we've collected for our own personal stuff. And
that's the same thing we do, man.
I don't have to worry about, does this guy have $1 million? I don't have to worry about if this guy's got a 481X twin turbo car like I used to when I had my Big Tire car. You know, we see stuff like that, and it's like, damn, like I'm definitely not going to be able to outpower this guy. So let's figure something out. Now we never worry about power. I mean, I got a little. I seriously got a little 5.3, nothing special. If I showed you, like, you could just go to, I don't know, Texas Speed or any basic parts place that sells LS stuff. Go to the bottom of the list where they sell the junkiest bottom end that they sell. That's what's in my 5.3. I do have a new one that I had Mark Smalls build for me. But again, total budget thing that I just had built to lay on the side after the first dig or die in case I ever broke my shit before one of the big races. So, but I mean, I'm talking all new parts, and it's still dirt cheap. You know, none of this stuff in my car is expensive. So I love the no prep thing, and you know, it's what I can afford. And again, luckily for me, because it's all I could afford, I decided to ditch radial racing, go no prep racing. And I got very lucky at the time in which I decided to do that, because
it's coming up.
Into it, yeah. And then Street Outlaws, you know, we got on Street Outlaws, the Memphis episodes, and you know, we went to the finals with Dennis Bailey at the West Virginia airport. We did really well on that. And that was like really when I started understanding this stuff real well. That's when I got to the point where I was like, okay, I see what has to be done. And unfortunately, this car isn't going to really work without spending a bunch of money. So time to move on, build something different. Went to the Pro Stock S10, had a lot of fun with that, just way too expensive. And then finally, you know, working 70, 80 hours a week, doing this stuff for a living and racing on the weekends. The work just never ended. I got 2 little girls, and I couldn't really spend a whole bunch of time with them. And between work and racing, and then I used to do a little bit of powerlifting back in the day that definitely didn't help things. And eventually my 2 lower discs went out. And this all happened, just so happened to happen around the same time of the COVID stuff. So between COVID and my discs finally giving up, I basically was out of work for months. Decided, you know what, I'm gonna build another car, and I'm gonna get back into racing, but it has to be something simple. It has to be something that's not going to require a lot of work, not going to take a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money. And God, man, I'm telling you, man, ever since I decided to start doing it, I've been so blessed. I've had some friends help me out, do some stuff, because, you know, I can't do any big heavy lifting or anything anymore. So the heavy lifting stuff I have friends do. All the work for all my car stuff is 100% done by me, with the exception of the heavy lifting. And my dad helped me out for a long time with the car, which I was very blessed to have him around before he went back to work. And just got lucky enough to put the car together. I knew what I was doing when I did it. You know, I did it for a living for a long time. Got the car together. I knew it didn't need anything crazy. You know, I know that these weight bars and all this stuff that these guys are using now, you know, I've done the math. There's even calculators that'll tell you, you know, you move weight this far and it'll give you this much leverage. So, you know, I've looked into it all. Me and Eddie Grimes talked about it for a while. And we came up with the idea of coming up with these ridiculous bar systems like what you guys were just talking about.
Yeah.
But I knew that if we did it, even if we tried to hide it like in a parachute mount or something like a lot of guys are doing, we knew that eventually there was going to be rules made to ban it. And I do think that it has to be done. Unfortunately, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want people coming down on me, but when you show up at the track and some poor broke guy, maybe me, shows up with a 20-foot bar hanging off the back of their car with 50 pounds on it so that they don't have to put 350 pounds or 400 pounds in the trunk, what are you going to do? You know, and then you go to make a U-turn at the track and you take out a whole family, or you bounce off the wall and a 45-pound weight comes spinning at somebody and takes their head off. Eventually, there's going to be a rule. You know, you got to do it. There's nothing you can do about it. So with that in mind, when I built my car, I told myself, I said, I'm not going to do anything ridiculous. I know that we can make the car work without having.
You don't even have a wing.
Car on the car. What's that?
You don't even have a wing.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we did decide to do a wing. I got a guy named Robert Carter who did my wing before. He's really good. But I wanted
They
something
help.
specific, and
They help.
he's got me coming with a something with like an adjustable wicker bill and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see. We'll see if it works. Hopefully, it
It'll
does.
I mean, if you've done this good without that stuff, I can only imagine. Like,
Yeah, we
it's
still got
insane.
a little bit of money to spend. Hopefully, not much. I don't plan on doing anything major for my car. We had planned to do a fiberglass front end and get some weight off the front because it's still all stock except for the doors. So,
Yeah.
well, in the hood. But I mean, the car is not light. People think that these cars are light, or I was told the other day, like, oh yeah, what's your car like? 2,500 with unit. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. It's an all factory from the front to the back frame rails, 100% Mustang. Even the mounting points on the body for the suspension are 100% factory. It does have one 1980s battle box reinforcement kits that I welded.
I was going to ask you, do you have like torque box reinforcement?
It needed it. I really don't think it even needed it. I could have probably the complete factory stuff for a while until things might have started loosening up. But there's a lot of stuff I did just because I could. But outside of that, I really don't think you need anything special quite yet. That's also why I stick to the type of racing I do. I don't try to go to the track on the weekend and grudge race my radial buddies. I know that I'll get run up. The car just is not made for that. That's the whole purpose of the car and the build. So I'm not gonna try and do both. It's just a nightmare, and it's not worth it. And a lot of these guys that are doing it need to understand that. You are not coming.
That's what Turbo John's struggling with a little bit right now. He's stuck between he likes to race on radials and he likes to do this no prep stuff. And he's telling me it's just so hard to do both.
Yep, and that's exactly where I was. I refused to let go of the radial stuff because that's where I originally, I wanted to be a Stevie Fast Jackson and those type of guys. But the more you do it, the more you hang out with those guys, you realize that your pocketbook is just never going to keep up with them. You cannot, guys like me are never going to be able to compete at that level. So the best way to keep yourself happy in racing is to stay in your own lane. You keep chasing somebody else's dreams with their pocketbooks, you're going to be a sad guy. So again, perfect timing. I do think it was God sent. I got into it at the right time.
Man.
Fell on hard times, with my whole back situation with COVID. I had just gone through a divorce a couple years prior. I mean, I've lost everything I've ever worked for 3 times in my life. The housing market crash, I lost everything at that. And I had sold my first race car that I ever built. I loved that car. I had a 99 Z28, man. I've been driving that thing since I was 17. Loved that car. Sold it to buy my house. Had some kids, had a wife, did the whole family thing, loved it. Lost my house, lost everything I had back then, everything that I worked so hard for. Ended up, moving into like a condo or something so I could afford it. But I refused to give up racing. I continued racing no matter what happened. And
that's amazing.
Yep, got into, and the whole time I'm working on cars. So it just never stopped. And I wore myself,
your life, man.
Literally just wore myself where my back gave out. And now I just can't physically do it ever again for a living. I tinker now. I work on my buddies' cars. I still do a lot of like suspension setups and things like that. And I still tune for a living. So I was lucky enough to start tuning probably 15 years ago.
Well, I'd say your tuning business is probably picking up.
It is. It's definitely getting there. I'm surprised. I thought like after the first digger die that I was going to be so flooded that I was going to have to start taking appointments and I wasn't going to even be able to, do anything but tune. But truth be told, there's a lot of good tuners out there. And I don't think that, I'm doing anything crazy special. I do have my own methods that obviously seem to be working.
No, I mean, 2 digger dies in a row. Something's got to be working, man. There's no doubt about that. That's probably the toughest surface, one of the toughest surfaces to get down.
Yeah,
and the most amount of cars in one place.
Yep. And the no prep thing is a little different. I did the radial thing, like I said, for years. The way that you tune each car, just simple things, even just boost curves are just completely different from one to another. And some might say otherwise. Some might say, no, well, I got the same boost curve, nothing changed for me. Well, I can tell you mine, it's dramatically different. Everything about the way that I tune the car is pretty different. Like even a lot of these, like when you set up a drive shaft curve for traction control, I could never use something from the track and go to a place like Dig or Die and win with that drive shaft curve. It's a completely different way that you drive and you tune. You're not going to leave as hard, but you got a back half good. You might have a section of track that the middle of the track is awesome, but the rest of the track sucks. You really don't even know until you get there. And
a lot of people think that. Yeah, a lot of people think that, oh, you're going 620s or 590s or 580s, whatever you're going on these back end surfaces. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I went to the track and I went 590. At 117. You're not going 117. You're not. The 60 foot's not there. You gotta.
Exactly.
You have to throw it in out the back.
Exactly. We are basically leaving like 9 and 10 second cars and then back halving like 7-second cars. So, and sometimes it's not quite like that either. So, I've been to a no prep where the front half is awesome and we can leave really hard, but then the back half sucks. So
yeah, a lot of the tracks where you're running from the tree side and they haven't touched it, it's like that.
Exactly. Yep. And, we'll get after it. We'll leave like a 7-second car, or maybe not that fast, but we'll leave like an 8-second car, and then we got to just level it off and just kind of coast the rest of the way. And the hardest part for a racer, especially somebody that comes from the radial world or just track racing in general, the hardest thing for a racer to do is slow something down on purpose. I mean, it just goes against everything that we do and believe in. And the last thing anybody wants to do is add a bunch of weight and slow their car down or take a bunch of power out. It just, to some people, it doesn't make sense. You know how many converter guys I've had to get in arguments with over the phone so I could get the freaking converter that I want? It's like, hey, listen, I know what my car makes. I know what it weighs. I know what you want. I know what you think it should do at the racetrack, but that's not what I want it to do. So just build the converter the way that I want it, and we'll both be happy. And sure enough, you end up having to send the converter back and get it changed anyway because it's not what you told them to do, because they just can't understand what it is that we're doing. It just confuses the shit out of them. They're like, why would you want your converter to slip so bad? Why would you want to make no power? Why would you take your 427 cubic inch LSX motor out that's on methanol and a huge turbo and put in a little piece of crap motor with a little dinky turbo? It's like, well, think about it. I'm not going to tell you everything, but most of us, and now probably more than half the field, I would imagine, probably understand what it is and what we do. They're starting to get it.
You're trying to kill torque early and throw in a horsepower.
Exactly. And a lot of guys just still haven't figured it out. And if they're going to take a little bit of information away from me, that would be it, I guess. And if you want some tuning secrets, it's real easy. All you got to do is hit me up, pay me to tune your car one time, and you can look at it all you want for the rest of your life.
Right. Man, and I get a lot of people, they'll send you messages and they'll ask questions all the time, but they won't take the time to actually watch the videos. They won't study what the suspension's doing. A lot of times it's right in front of you. You just have to watch.
Exactly.
You have to listen to be able to hear it.
And a lot of these guys, they're always asking me, I get messages all the time. They're like, so, what struts do you have? And what suspension do you have? And how much weight do you have? And what's your front to rear bias and all that? And I'm like, look, dude, I'll throw you a bone. I'll give you a little bit of information. But I can tell you this, the easiest thing, and I love telling people, is there is nothing fancy about my car. You can look it up and down, check my Instagram, the Black Nasty, look at the pictures. That's my car. I mean, I don't change anything. That's what it is. And you can see that there is no type of trickery on there. It's very basic. It's just set up well. So
Yeah, it's
if
something
you
that
have a
you
car,
can't possibly buy. You can't buy a win in this type of racing.
exactly.
You're not going to
That is
buy it.
100% correct. Yep. You have to
And a
know
lot of
what you're
people
doing
think,
out there.
all right, what do I need to buy to go as fast as him? But it ain't like that.
Yep.
You got to get out there and you got to
Yep.
test and you got to see what works for your car with all the parts that you have.
The perfect example, and again, I'm not picking on anybody. I don't want anybody send me any hate mail, but this has been a huge topic of discussion lately, and that's the big tire stuff. You know, everybody was trying to get my boy Colby Patterson kicked out of big tire, and the sad truth of the matter is that a lot of these big tire guys, it's not even their fault. Some of them, no, it's really not. Some of these guys are really good tuners, and I've seen them get down some pretty bad roads. The problem is nobody builds a big tire car to go slow. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Nobody sticks a small block Chevy naturally aspirated, making 700-800 horsepower on a little kit to go big tire racing. You would
Nope.
show up at the track and look like a complete
Yeah,
idiot.
nobody shoves a
So-
5.3 or a 6.0 in a big tire tube chassis car.
Yeah, why would you? I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. If you even asked a builder to do something like that, they would probably deny it for you. They wouldn't even want their name on it. It would be so stupid. So
Yeah.
These guys come out there, their cars are making 1,500 foot-pounds of torque, and they're trying to go down a road that would never in a million years support that. Or the famous line that I hear every time I go, I hear it. This tune will get down a dirt road. I'm like, well, this ain't a dirt road, buddy. I don't know how many dirt roads you've actually gone down, but I promise you it ain't going to work on this road.
Yeah.
And sure
It's
enough,
amazing to me how many of those big tire cars will sit there on the trans brake at 5,000 RPM and leave on nitrous when you're on like gravel.
Yes,
It's
and I'm like,
amazing.
okay, I got a couple buddies that I try to help out here and there. I did the nitrous thing for way longer than I did turbo stuff. I know how it works, and I personally I love nitrous. I think it's in many ways easier to tune, especially for this type of stuff. The downfall is spark plugs, fuel cost, nitrous cost, maintenance. I come back from a pass, I park my car. Until my alternator broke, I didn't even put a charger on it. But my alternator broke 2-3 weeks ago, and I just took it off and I threw it over in the scrap pile, and I just brought a battery charger with me. I was like, screw it, I'm not even going to use it. But if you're going to bring a big tire car out there that's meant to go really, really fast at the racetrack, please don't get upset when a Colby Patterson comes out with a 4-wheel drive pickup truck and runs over top of you, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You can't.
And you proved you ran Colby, right?
Low fours, high threes to make a pass.
Yeah.
What's that?
You ran Colby, right? The big tire winner, and you won.
Yeah, because
on smalls.
I had a lot of people come up to me. I've had personal friends come up to me, and I've had, I've seen the hate. I don't know if you know Colby Patterson. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life.
Oh yeah.
He is impossible to hate. He could punch you in the face and you would still like him for some reason. That's just the kind of guy he is. And I've seen it over and over again. Everybody's like, fuck that guy, get him out of big tire or we're not showing up to your race. And it's like, damn, bud, it's like that. Like, give the guy a chance. Like, at least attempt to beat the guy. Don't go out there, blow the tires off, never make a clean pass against him, and then oust him because you can't get around him.
Right, and they wouldn't have even won the race anyways, most of them. Like, I seen Wesley Skinner out there, and he's one example of a guy that isn't going to cry or complain. He's going to make his car faster and make sure that he wins, He's not going to try to throw somebody else out rather than trying to make his car faster because he knows he can do it. He's got the drive.
Yep, and Wes has never once said no all-wheel drive or take that out or nothing like that. He'll run whatever shows up to run. And you know what? He has had a hell of a time trying to get that new combo to work because it makes a ton of power.
Ton of power.
You keep wrenching at it. You want to do it. You want to make it work. You don't just give up, go back to the track, make some fast passes, come back and then complain again that your big tire car isn't working. No,
he made some changes. He came out and look at what happened. The car is making awesome passes now. He is literally probably 1 or 2 days away from. I mean, to be honest, I think he's going to be running over guys like Colby. I think he's going to be running over guys like me. You know,
He's got the power.
Once a guy like that gets the big tire stuff figured out on crap roads, you're not going to be able to beat him. It's just, it hasn't been around long enough. The no prep game is still relatively new. Big tire is really not the cream of the crop. Let's be honest. You know, a lot of guys,
unless it's on TV,
mostly want to be small tire. So there's not a lot of motivation in it. Like, you know, I ran you with a big tire car. I had my S10, loved it, had a lot of fun with it. Went from one race.
We lost the volume. All right, there we go.
At 710 Dragway, and you ran me over. And I was like, you know, trying to figure out the new combo on the surface with a 427 big turbo. And that's where the lessons start to be learned. You know, you're like, wow, you know, I got all this power, and this kid in a freaking pickup truck just ran me over. Like, what the hell is that all about?
Right.
That shouldn't happen. But that truck was not purpose built for that. You know, it was another one of those deals where I wanted to go out and break the single turbo LS record. And so I built the truck. The main purpose for it was that. But outside of that, all it was good for was no prep. And I did very well at a couple races. But when you go to the real bad surfaces, it's not going to work. You know, time to change the game. Too expensive. Moving on. New car. So once I built that thing, and thank God, you know, we had already gotten pretty far along with it. I had done most of the hard work before my back went completely out. And I think there was like a handful of wires left that I had to run, which if you look inside my car, you can tell which wires were left. Because I had to lean over the cage, and it was horrible, man. Oh my God, it was agonizing pain. But luckily, since the first digger die, because I don't have health insurance, I don't have any of that stuff. You know, I have nothing. Matter of fact, for the last since shortly after my divorce, I could have moved into a condo or something, but I lived in Montgomery County. I live in one of the most expensive counties in the world. So something like an apartment can cost me $1,300 plus utilities. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to move into my shop. So I literally moved into my shop, and I was living there for 3.5 years. And I would wake up. I loved it, actually. I mean, some people are like, damn, that sucks. And I'm like, no, it was awesome.
Yeah, everything's right there. You have an idea in your head, and you're sitting there at night, go do it, you know. Go build it, weld it.
That is exactly right. I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning sometimes, go downstairs in my boxers, and start wrenching on the car. Like, there's something that has to be done. Or did I forget to tighten that bolt? And you know what? That car was a product of that. You know, every time I had a little idea, like I said, there's nothing fancy on the car. It's nothing special. I did the whole build on social media so people could see what it was.
Yeah, what is your social media so everybody knows?
Exactly. Yep. Climb underneath the car. I'll put a jack under there for you if you want. Check every inch of it, and you will never believe just how simple it is and stupid it is. You know, there's no high dollar parts on the whole car. If you look at, I give you the car, I'll erase my tune out of it, you know, and give you the car, and it's not going to do what it does. You know, there's a lot of little stuff that has to be done to make the car do what it does, but the chassis itself is well set up.
Right.
I'll say that.
Hey, Bobby, for everybody that doesn't know, what is your social media?
I got the black.
Did we lose him?
I don't know, but we got to
get. When I'm back. No, I ended up getting a phone
on there soon. He's going to have a coronary.
Okay. Are you there, Bobby? I can't see you.
Still there?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
Let me see if I have to sign back something. What's going on here? How do I sign back on?
Let me remove you, and I'll try to add you back.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I see it now. Yep, got it.
Okay.
There we go. It's loading.
There we go.
Anyway, I think you got me back now, do you?
Yeah, I got you now.
Forgot where I left off, but
So Black Nasty, is that your
yeah,
Instagram,
so,
Facebook?
moved into the shop. Yeah,
Cool.
the Instagram is _black_nasty, and my Facebook page is just the Black Nasty. And
Awesome, man.
my whole build is on there. Pretty much all my races are on there. The way I built the car. Obviously, I don't tell things like what the instant center or how I set the suspension up or anything like that. None of the little tricks. But really, they're kind of. I'm not going to sit here and tell people that.
I mean, anybody can go out there and test different things and figure it out eventually.
People, Yep, and that's what it comes down to. You've said it before, Ken. For everybody that's at the game in this field, it's test. You make a change, you test. You build the car. I built my car on scales. The weight, I would say, depending on where you put it, how you put it. Like I said, we use calculators to figure out that, if we were to take 100 pounds and set it back so many inches, it's equal to 300 pounds sitting in the trunk. And so that's why I get why these guys are making these huge, long ballast bars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you make the bar long enough, you might not need weight on it at all. So
it's amazing. There's a lot of crazy stuff people are doing out here in the snow prep world.
Sucks, but if the car is set up right, if it's even in the ballpark and you have a good tune in it, it's going to go down. And once you get it going down, then it's just a matter of figuring out how to get it go down a little bit faster each time. So The guy that made 100 test passes is probably going to be a little bit faster than the guy that 5.
All right, man. I really appreciate you coming on here. I got to get to the next idiot.
That's holy.
Rooney's been texting me. He's been waiting. He's been waiting. He's been on here since Beater Bomb was on here, and he's like ready to go. He's blowing up my phone. So I appreciate you, Bobby. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll watch the rest of the show out. You guys have a good one. Good talk.
All right, man.
See you, Bobby.
I can't wait to see you again at the track.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to see you, man.
Yep.
Later.
See you later. Talk to you guys.
All right, let's get Rooney in here. So,
Jesus Christ, Rooney.
For those of you that don't know, this is the Grand Poobah of Long Island, New York.
I'm a 0, man. Lance and Tyler are big shots.
Is Lance over there?
He was supposed to be, but he doesn't even know where he is. He should be walking in here shortly.
that guy, what are you going to do with him?
Can't do much. Can't do much.
All right, Rooney. So explain to me what happened at Dig or Die first round with your car.
Well,
what happened?
First, Manny was just in here. Manny Boost, who raced Patches.
Mm-hmm.
And Manny's car is brand new build this season. TJ at M&K Welding, give him a shout out. He's worked on pretty much my car, Tyler's car. Hasn't really done much at all on Lance's car. One of the best chassis guys around on Long Island. We all go to him. Big shout out to TJ. Manny's car's brand new build, new motor, new turbos. So didn't really have adequate time to test it.
This sounds like excuses.
But
we went out there and he was
great in the wolf pit. He called out Patch's first round for
Manny
5,000.
likes to let him hang.
Oh, he lets him hang every time, man. I got to give it to him. He ain't scared.
He should have let him hang a little lower that pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's a tough surface to get down. Let's be honest. And first pair out, it's a crapshoot sometimes, man.
We're like, Manny, why don't you wait and get him in the rounds? No, I want him now. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I'd like to see that car get down on a street where he can put some power down.
When he gets it figured out, it'll definitely be a contender for sure.
Oh yeah. I remember when it was a 2J car, and that was when I had first seen it. and that thing, it was really fast.
Yeah.
So,
Believe it
I
or
know-
not, he hasn't even really.
Figure out
It's
everything.
about where it was before he switched everything around, but it's got so much more in it. We're going to go test it tonight.
Hell yeah.
The Dud's in bed where she belongs.
Oh, the dud. What happened to the dud first round, man? Did you jump?
I took myself out of that one. I jumped by Cliff broke down the video. I jumped by 3/100ths of a second was my tire crack.
I'm gonna put it up on the. I got the video of it. I'm gonna put it up real quick.
You can keep.
Would it have mattered?
I beat him by about 2 cars.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have mattered. Rooney, why? You got to wait on the light, man.
You sound like my old man. We want to go over what happens when you jump. We don't want to touch that, right?
No, it happens to the best of us, man.
That's what I figured. You want to change the subject yet, or you want to keep that?
Oh God, man. I wish you wouldn't have though. I like seeing that car go down. You always send it down through there.
I got to actually, when Lance comes over, we're going to see. We're going to actually go shopping at his house, and we're going to pick out a little bit bigger power plant. That motor in my car is a little bit of it's a runt. It's a stock block 383. Anybody who doesn't believe it, and show it under the cover right there. It's got AFR 225s on it, 1 stage of nitrous. The best I've ever went with it is 572 on the street. That's it. Fastest it's ever gone.
But it gets down anywhere.
I could get down any road, but just it's really hard keeping up with, like, even a car like yours. I have nothing for those guys going into the semifinals, stuff like that. I just like to go and have fun. I just love to race.
That's awesome, man.
But I just need something where that thing just has no heart upstairs. I just need something where, like, another button,
Yeah, just another
Actually,
100 shot, right?
Yeah, Lance has a little something right over there. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that looks like a gangster over there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is we're going to talk about it because we're going to make a deal, and it's at my house already, so he really can't say no. So,
Right. Lance's shit's all over there.
oh, he's like a gerbil.
That's great.
Yep.
Man, I wish Lance was on here. We could talk to him about his car. I think, is he trying to rebuild that thing?
I don't know. You never get it. I'm with my buddy Johnny, one of my crew members.
How you doing?
He's been with us since day one. He just said you'll never get a real answer out of Lance. He'll tell you one thing and then go and do the total opposite and show up with something else. He has a whole nother car that he can build, and with the GoFundMe and everything, he's ready to go. He just needs to make up his own mind what needs to happen. So he's got motors. He did the right thing with the money. He's ready to go.
Okay, next subject. Tyler at Dig or Die.
I sent him the link. He could explain himself.
He can explain himself.
Don't do this to me.
Okay. I'm going to put the video up.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
I'm putting the video up, then we'll talk about it.
She was close. The lane master called it. Jump on the lane. Jump.
Man, he's a savage.
Them boys out there wilding.
You check out Manny.
Manny jumped right in there too. He was like, I want a piece of that too.
I knew there's a lot of prior events that led up to that.
Right. That's why I'm trying to get at, what I know Tyler wouldn't just do that to anyone.
No,
There's been some build up.
Tyler's a lot of things, but there's nobody there that's into racing more than that kid. And between him and Lance, and I haven't won a fraction of what both of them have. Between those two, nobody around here from where we're from has street raced and done more winning than both of them. So
Yeah.
but you know, it's just hard to. Tyler's a hard. You got to have your ducks in order if you're going to bump your gums to Tyler. I'll put it that way.
He's about that life. That's for sure.
He's just not afraid to slap someone in the face. That's all.
Yeah. I think, honestly, more people in this world need to be punched in the face.
I mean, Tyler would probably agree with you.
Sometimes, you know, the starting line isn't the best area, but I do agree that people do need punched in the face.
What happened with that whole thing was prior to that, and it's, you know, nobody's business what went on prior, but the
Right.
sequence of events that happened with that those people that Tyler had the problem with what happened, there was no way we were physically getting through that day without having an altercation. Even if we would have been nowhere near them, it was bound to happen. And, you know, we informed Eric Hunt, who I think, you know, Eric and Kinsit and Dan and all those guys, they did a great job. We informed them what was going on, and, you know, not that it was not that they allowed it, but they knew that something wasn't cool.
They expected, you know,
Yeah.
something to happen, possibly.
So I think Eric handled it great. I mean, not for nothing, the kid that Tyler got into it with, he poked the bear and you got bit. That's end of story.
Yep.
Should have seen that one coming.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is. If you don't want to pay a bet, sometimes that's what happens. So, you know, I'm sure there's two sides to every story, but, you know, it is what it is. I just wanted to get somebody to clear the air on that.
I will say this,
Once prior stuff going
Tyler
on.
doesn't show up somewhere and just start hitting people. He's not like that.
No,
I've known the kid since I was 8.
no, he's a cool dude. I like Tyler. I'm gonna pull up a video of Tyler riding my Banshee.
Yeah, pull up.
Wild.
Pull up the other video of your Banshee, Billy.
There was no video of that one that I know.
Let's see the Banshee cut some donuts.
No, we're not gonna show that. That was
Oh, man.
that was a bit much.
You lose a couple followers after that one.
That was funny, man. But yeah, Tyler hops on my Banshee and he goes, "Let me christen it for you." I said, "Go right ahead." Immediately starts doing wheelies, 2 wheels.
He can ride.
He can. Lost the audio.
Lance just tried calling me. Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Hold on. Get him. Put him on speaker. Fucking guy. Probably lost.
He lost on the way to your house.
Yeah, he's been here about 1 million fucking times. But what happened with you? How'd you make out?
Well, I just didn't put enough in it. And the video is going to go up probably tomorrow, and everybody will get to see, you know, what all happened at Dig or Die. But I just wanted to give some sneak peeks to the highlights or the lowlights.
Is it appropriate to talk about the guys that tested on the track behind Dig or Die on here, or no? Is it not appropriate?
The track behind Dig or Die?
The back part of the track, the further back.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Well, I don't remember. I don't know their names. Is he coming or no?
He's in Freeport on his way.
Oh, he's on free. Hold on, I got Team Shitbox on speaker right now.
What up, Lance?
What's going on, dude?
Nothing. You remember the interview you were supposed to be here at 7:00 for? You didn't know it was. You want me to screenshot you the text?
No, I knew that, but I told you I fucking hate you, Rooney.
You don't mean that, Lance.
Billy, you can't curse on YouTube. Don't say that.
We can. We just don't get paid when we curse.
I've been doing really good with my language. So Billy wants to know if you're coming out with anything, or you're just going to keep wasting everybody's time.
No, I plan on building the Notch as a temporary quarter race.
The Notch is a temporary Carter race. If anybody
A
didn't know that.
Mustang?
Yeah, the Mustang.
Oh, no.
It's going to be like everybody else.
What a freaking letdown.
Not permanent.
He's gonna get the notch and he's gonna get the butt hurts bumper on the back. Whatever.
He's gonna order it from Joey,
Yeah.
from Joey's guy at Vasco.
So, all right, now Billy just asked me, wanted to check in and see if you were still a loser. So I just good thing you confirmed.
I'm still a loser, and I'm definitely building something.
The suspense is killing everybody.
Yeah, I know it is. It's killing me more than anyone.
All right, so
Well, me and Lance are gonna do a documentary series on it. I gotta come to New
that
York.
should be good.
He's gonna fly me there, right, Lance?
No, I'll be at the house in a half hour.
Be at the house in a half hour. It's 20 minutes from Freeport. How are you lost?
What?
Hurry up. Goodbye.
It takes an hour to get from Freeport.
I know.
I
That kid's
love
something else, man.
Gotta love him, man.
One of my best
Well,
buddies.
you got anybody you want to thank?
TJ from M&K Welding, great guy. And just my crew, man. I always put up on Facebook. I haven't even got a chance to post it. We were unpacking everything today. I don't know if everybody saw. We got my buddy Derek with the ZR1. He actually went to the finals in stick shift.
Nice.
And,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he went to the finals. First, literally, it's got a built motor in it. Other than that, it's all stock. And the only reason why he did it is he won a set of slicks in a raffle at the last dig or die. And he's like, fuck it, let's do it. I said, okay. Sorry, I probably cost you $5 there. So
Yeah.
I said, all right, whatever. So we went and tested it, and it went. We're like, it's kind of okay. So and it's like still got all magnetic ride shocks in it, like literally untouched everything. He just has a brake kit in the back to fit 15s. That's it. And
Got that blue Corvette.
yeah, ZR1. Not too many people race $100,000 or $60,000, $70,000.
That dig or die.
Yeah. And he's like, all right, whatever. And we put it on, and he went to the finals, and he snowflaked and missed third. But he
A snowflake hit him, and he missed third.
But he was doing great, man. He did great for a car that 100% is not meant for that. Like we didn't even put weight in it, nothing. We're like, because he didn't want to break it. It has stock axles, everything stock.
Wow.
But,
well, the stick shift game sounds like it needs to step up at dig or die then.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I mean, if Derek can do it in the ZR1, he has no business being out there to begin with.
That's awesome, though. He must be a pretty damn good driver, other than when he missed third.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It happens to all of them. Hopefully we can get Molly's car out there to one of them for stick shift.
Yeah, definitely.
Should be
She probably
fun.
won't miss third.
I hope not. It's face plated, so
Yeah.
there'll be no missing gears. I guess that'll wrap it up, man.
But yeah. Other than that, thanking TJ.
No, we're not going to talk about strawberries. For fuck's sake. We're not going to talk about that.
Well, I'll send you a video to put up there. But other than that, yeah, no, thank TJ from M&K, my crew. Even though we were first round ducks, I would have liked to at least make it to second or third round. And my engine guy, some old man on Long Island, Harry, Island Faridi's Island Racing Performance. It's nothing special, but it's lasted. This will be the seventh season on one set of rings and bearings.
You just keep punishing it, and it takes it.
Ball hone it, dingleberry hone it, and sender.
God dang.
I actually raced the night before Dig or Die when we tried to do that whole street thing and the road was wet. They wanted to send trailers up and down the road to dry it, and I had the slowest car there, and I said, "I'm good, thank you. I'm going to pass." And we actually ended up racing on 421, I think it was, the main road right in front of the track, and we ended up hooking up with Jake Boswell's crew.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we were texting. Tyler was working on his car at the hotel, and we're like, "Yeah, we're going to race Boswell's crew." He says, "You guys are a bunch of idiots. Good luck."
Yeah, he's got some fast shit.
Man, we're bored. So we go out there, and Manny raced their what did Manny race? Manny raced Jake in the Mustang, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Manny raced Jake Boswell's Mustang.
Y'all let Michael Whitson drive that car?
No, Jake.
I heard there was a stip that Michael Whitson had to drive the car, and somebody didn't know who he was.
I don't know who
he ended up beating whoever it was he raced.
No, Manny raced Jake and Lance. I'll send you that video to put up. Lance was flagging it. Lance had been drinking all day, and he's, 2 beers and he's demolished. And they go up there to go, and he's trying to put the light on. First, he has the light like half facing him, and then he's blinking the light, and he's not even hitting the right button. And then he figures it out.
That sounds like a Lance move.
No, yeah, it was. And then so they had to end up rerunning that. Then I raced that blue S10 with the big block in it with no front end on it.
Yeah, Bishop.
And he beat me by about a car and a half at the end. And
not bad though. I mean, that's a big block on some spray. It runs.
Yeah,
and that road is pretty good too.
Yeah, he's like, what do you got in there? I said, oh man, I got 388 one system hitting it with 350. That's it. He's like, really? I said, yeah. He's like, oh. Yeah, I make like 12 and change on motor. I said, oh, cool.
That's the beauty of street racing, man.
That's it. So, and then Derek raced that red vet that was in daily or late model, whatever it was called.
Yeah, James Newton.
Yeah, Derek beat him. No, Derek, he missed third again.
Oh my God.
He lost. He was beating him good too, but that was the festivities before Dig or Die.
Hell yeah. Hopefully somebody got some video of all the festivities.
And you didn't show up for that because you were scared because I was there.
Yeah, I know. Just like when I beat you at the last Dig or Die.
That's fine. And I said, you got action. Where were you this time? You think I'm afraid of losing? I do way more losing than I do winning.
You know we're going to get it again, Rooney.
That's fine. I'll get up in there like a wedgie.
I'm going to post the video right after this.
Do it. I don't care. Look.
Oh, boy. What is that, like $800?
What's it? 2,000.
Oh.
That's just in case somebody bumped their gums.
All right, man. Love you, buddy.
Love you too, guys. See you later, Pops. Thanks for making me wait an hour.
I'm sorry. It's our first one. We'll get better.
See you later.
See you, buddy. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an hour and a half. I just want to say that I think Street Outlaws is on. So go watch Street Outlaws. Shout out to Joey and Bobby Parks and Rooney for jumping on here. Awesome guys. They all got extremely fast cars, big personalities. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.